dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News Weekend Edition.
Good evening, I'm Keaton Hall. Officials in law enforcement agencies gathered at the Mountain Arts Center on Sunday for a news conference to brief the region with more information about the shooting that left 3 officers and a canine officer dead. WYMT's Jordan Mullins was there and has the details from the conference.
Officials gathered at the Mountain Arts Center on Sunday afternoon to discuss the violent shooting in Allen on Thursday, recounting harrowing details of the officers who responded.
Police officers from different agencies would be screaming to try to get responses from each other, whether or not any of them were hit. And live like that for a few hours, and maybe you'll understand. It's something I wouldn't wish on anybody on planet Earth.
And thanking those across the country who have reached out to offer help.
There are so many people and agencies that we need to thank. I don't know where to start. But thank each and every one of you. Please keep these officers, their families, and all of Floyd County in your prayers as we begin the healing process.
And despite the loss, fellow officers are vowing to return to duty in honor of the fallen.
We will continue to do our job, to answer the call that we've all answered, and to be that line and to be strong because of all those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice.
Folks throughout the community are saddened and angered by the loss.
Well, I'm going to say something here again that probably these folks on this stage can't say. They're just better people than me. But death ain't good enough for that son of a bitch. I said on Friday that there should be a special place in hell for people like Mr. Storrs, and if there ain't, there ought to be. And I believe that with everything in me, brother.
But are beginning the healing process as best they know how. In Floyd County, Jordan Mullins, WYMT Mountain News.
Floyd County Sheriff John Hunt says they'll be announcing a special service for Canine Officer Drago in the coming days. Well, we want to go over the funeral arrangements again for the officers. The visitation for 60-year-old Deputy William Petrie will begin tonight. Well, it just begun a little bit ago at 6 p.m. at the Nelson Frazier Funeral Home in Martin. It'll continue all day Monday at the funeral home. His funeral will be held Tuesday at 11 a.m. at the Mountain Arts Center in Prestonsburg. He'll be laid to rest at Gethsemane Gardens, also in Prestonsburg. Nelson Frazier Funeral Home also announced arrangements for Captain Frazier. The visitation for the 60-year-old Captain Ralph Frazier will begin Monday at 6 p.m. at Nelson Frazier Funeral Home, and it will continue all day Tuesday. His funeral will be held Wednesday at 1 p.m. at the Mountain Arts Center in Prestonsburg. He will also be laid to rest at Gethsemane Gardens. Visitation for 28-year-old Jacob Chaffins will begin on Tuesday the 5th at 6 p.m. at Tom's Creek Free Will Baptist Church in Iville. It will continue all day Wednesday at the church. His funeral will be held Thursday at 1 p.m. at the Mountain Arts Center, and he will also be laid to rest at Gethsemane Gardens in Prestonsburg. Many in our region are searching for divine intervention during a time of grief. The Praise Assembly of God Church in Prestonsburg held a service at the downtown gazebo today. While the consistent rain matched their emotions, the church came together to spread hope among residents. Pastor J.M. Sloas says the community is rallying around each other.
I've been preaching 50 years. I've never seen a city rally around anything, and a community. It's not only been the city, it's been the outside cities that have come in and said, hey, we care.
Praise Assembly of God was able to raise $2,000 in donations for families of fallen officers, which the People's Bank in Prestonsburg say they'll match if donations reach $10,000. Those donations are not only needed for families, but for the police force in Floyd County. The Floyd County Community Foundation is taking donations for victims and the police force, and the Kent Rose Foundation is taking donations for the K-9 unit. Floyd County Sheriff's Office Administrative Dispatch Clerk Misha Kernut says she's already seeing a lot of support.
Let me tell you, I've had calls and we've had emails and Facebook messages from people everywhere. People have really shown an outpouring of love, and we are very grateful for that. We know that we have it here within us, but it's nice to see the rest of the country kind of rally around us also.
You can also call the Floyd County Sheriff's Department and donate directly to them. The Floyd County Justice Center will be closed all day Tuesday, July 5th. The center will also be open half days for the 6th and 7th in honor of the funerals.
Well, summer weather continues across the mountains here as we get closer to the 4th of July. Let's take a live look over at I-75 in Mount Vernon, looking at a mix of sun and clouds and temperatures. They are warm today, middle to upper 80s, 86 for Somerset, 82 in Hazard, and 80 for Pikeville and Jackson. Up on Pinpoint Doppler, a few showers earlier today, but most of us are actually dry at this hour. A few showers near the Tennessee and Kentucky border there, but overall, the rest of us are looking to stay dry into this evening. If you have any plans into the rest of tonight, the weather looks pretty good. Temperatures falling into the middle and upper 60s. We stay mostly dry under a clear sky, but what can you expect for your holiday weekend? I had that full forecast coming up.
Thanks, Cameron. KSP are investigating a shooting in Perry County. Trooper Matt Gayhart says an altercation took place at the Drew's Mini Mart north of Hazard. Officials say shots were fired into a hillside, but there were no reports of injuries. Trooper Gayhart says no charges have been filed at this time, and the case will be presented to a grand jury at a later time. Oil Springs Fire and Rescue responded to an overturned vehicle on Kentucky Route 40 West. The crash happened yesterday just before 2 p.m. When they arrived, the rescue team found a woman with 2 children. Officials say the woman suffered minor injuries and the 2 juveniles were unharmed. The woman was reportedly taken to the hospital by Paintsville EMS. We'll be right back.